Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, red dragons of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Finger on the Pulse. I'm your host, Nate Fingerman, and I'm joined today by Jules, operator of local music venue, Anthill.
Yes.
Jules, thank you so much for coming on to us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
What is Anthill all about?
So the reason I started, I had been wanting to do it for so long, ever since I got here pretty much, and I went to one of the previous house venues that was still running. I was like, I want to do this someday, and I just kind of wanted to create a space where we could have a DIY venue in Oneonta. There wasn't any at the time, so I was like, why don't I step up to the plate? And I really just wanted to create like a safe space for everybody. Everybody's welcome. All kinds of genres play there. So really just something like that.
What genre of artists do you typically book for your average Anthill show?
We definitely book a variety of genres and styles, but I feel like the one we book the most is definitely alternative, punk, rock, so that mainly, yeah, but everything really.
What can you tell us about your mission statement?
The mission statement is posted on the account. It's posted in the venue. It's posted everywhere. It's really just something for people to look at before they pull up, because we need to set some ground rules before hosting something like that in a house. So it's really just about nobody getting hurt, everybody having a good time, and yeah, it's just kind of the whole principle of Anthill.
When did you decide to start your own venue and run it out of your home?
I think it was finally decided last summer. We just talked about it briefly, and then one day we were like, let's actually do this. I think this could work, because we went over everything and we realized that it could happen realistically, and we just wanted to be the people in charge of something like that. We felt like we would be able to run it pretty well, pretty responsibly, and I think it's worked out.
I think so too.
Pretty nicely.
What are some of the challenges that come with running shows out of your home?
Oh my gosh, so many, as you would imagine. It's everything you think it would be, and some more, but mainly just having to take the risk that people aren't always going to be as respectful as you think they'll be. I think that you assume that everybody's going to act a certain way and think certain things are okay, but everybody's different. Not everybody has that, and a lot of the time people will come in with an energy that's, you know, not the greatest, and I'll have to take care of whatever like damages, physical damages, or like people like harassing other people. Yeah. We don't stand for that. There's a zero tolerance for that, so we'll definitely just kick you out. Well, absolutely not.
Thank goodness. I'm really glad I gave up harassing people long before I attended an Anthill show.
Yeah, not this weekend, please.
What about the punk or alternative genres in particular appeal to you or appeal to the staff?
That's such a good question.
Thank you.
I think a lot of the staff are like people I've known for a while, because obviously the people I want, you know, working are people that I actually know. And I met them all like in the scene here, the music scene here, and you know, other scenes too, like media study, like those kinds of things. And I just tend to find that a lot of the people I got along with have similar interests with me, and I've always been a fan of punk and all, just because it's something that, like, not to be corny, but like it goes against the grain a little bit, you know. It's like it's something like that, and has a lot of potential. There's some bands that people don't even know about because they're just so underground still, but they've got so much talent. You know, punk and rock and alternative music there's so much more to it than you think there is, and the message is just, it's awesome.
Now, you also have your own band, Crosswave.
I do.
You performed recently at O Factor for
Yes.
a chance to open for the Neon Trees. You
Didn't
performed
win.
Next year. You performed at Woney Island. What do you like about running Anthill versus what you like about performing?
You know, they're more similar than you think they'd be, because both are kind of, in a way, a performance. Like, I mean, for me personally, like, at Anthill, or just running Anthill, there's constant there's social pressure, a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you, things like that, and you're running a whole performance. Crosswave, performing in that band, it's similar in a way, but also it's like a one and done after a gig. Get the adrenaline build up, you play and it's awesome, you're on a stage, and then it's over. With Anthill, it's always weekend after weekend, but at the same time, it's it's totally worth it. Both are cool in their own ways.
I can imagine. When, if ever, would we get a chance to see you perform at Anthill yourself on your own stage?
I did last semester for one show around Halloween, and you might even see me again this semester later on. So I'll leave it at that.
Ooh, yeah, we don't want to spoil ourselves.
Check the account.
Of the artists you've booked and you've had play, who do you think has the most potential? You can give a top 3, or who do you think has the most?
Whoa, oh my God, so many. I book everybody for a reason, so let that say what it says, but I really like having, there's this one band, I'll name an out-of-town band first, CPS, that we had once. They're awesome. They're really great. They're doing something really unique. So check out the band CPS from Albany. Then also some bands from here. I'm partial to Nerve Damage, but they're a really great band. I've known them for so long and I've seen so many of their shows. And I think they definitely are doing something really cool for the Oneonta music scene. And I also really like Nephew. I think their energy is awesome, and they're all, I think with the exception of one, all underclassmen. So that's really cool to see people are still, bringing that to.
I was hoping you'd say Nephew.
I love them. Oh my God, me too. Yeah, they're sweet.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel that you've impacted Oneonta's music scene?
Oh, that's crazy to think that that's a thing. I feel like, well, first of all, there wasn't really one at the time that Anthill started up, so I think that obviously impacted it. I mean, I don't know if anyone else would have stepped up and done this if we hadn't. So that's one thing. Maybe there wouldn't have been any house venues at all this year. What would we have done? To go see DIY shows, It's just Foothills and Club Odyssey, and that's really it. But I think I hopefully brought back the idea of shows being a place, underground shows, being a place where you can meet people like you can watch people like you can even have a chance to perform there one day. You see these people who are your friends performing, and you're like, wait, I have a band, I could do that. This is, a house. And so I think it shows a lot of people that, there's still hope here. You can have a band here in Oneonta and play shows. And the underground scene is still very much alive, despite lack thereof in the area.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts of attending a show at Anthill is that it's not just a concert. There's themes, and there's a lot of effort gone in to make it feel like an experience.
Yeah, that's the goal.
How do you decide the theming?
So I've tried to ask people, get a crowd consensus, and I usually go with what a lot of people are suggesting. This weekend, for example, it's I have nowhere else to wear this, because a few people came up and they were like, hey, I have a great idea for a theme. And I was like, that's hilarious. I can't wait to see all these eccentric outfits. But the themes are really just decided usually by people's suggestions.
You mentioned earlier that the staff at Anthill is people that you've met and you've built long-term bonds with.
Yeah.
What do you like most about working with your friends?
Oh, it's so fun. I love it because they know me, so they know relatively how things are going to be working with me, and they're all super respectful, and I know I can trust them to do certain things because they're responsible. And also, it's just like not only we're all working together in like kind of a work environment, but we're also like it's a fun like party-esque show-esque
absolutely.
environment too. So we're just having a great time while also like making something cool happen.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Interviewing with us today. You can find us on Instagram at WireTV Oneonta. You can find us on YouTube.com/@WireTV. You can plug your Instagram really quick.
My Instagram is Anthill Oneonta, so go follow that if you want.
And stay tuned to our social media for future updates. Until next time, I am Nate Fingerman with Finger on the Pulse.